Hello everyone, thank you for joining me. The river is opened up, as you can see in the earlier clips. It's cool out today, but it's about 45, so it's just right at the bottom end for doing masonry work, I would say. I hope anyway, give it a try. I had some questions and comments on my last video, and I really appreciate any good comments on the build process and video work. And I'll tell you, it's a lot of work videoing, and people don't get enough credit that do this all the time. So I'm taking a stab at this, and hopefully it's turning out okay. Today I'm chinking the logs, and I had a question on what I was using to chink the logs. Now traditionally they would use muddy clay and moss and then stuff that between the log spaces for insulation, you know, to make it warm in the winter and cool in the summer. And then later on, as things progressed, a lot of people would start putting masonry mud or cement in, you know, and that's basically what I'm doing. I'm using Quikrete masonry mix, and it's actually working really well. It's good and sticky. And surprisingly, I mean, I just wipe the logs off with mineral spirits and try to loosen up anything that's kind of hanging there, and slap the mud in on the inside of the building here anyway. And it seems to be working really well. I did a little bit last weekend, and then I got about half done. Actually, a little more than half done, so that makes me happy. I wish I had another day this weekend. Unfortunately, they're talking snow and rain and nasty weather, so I'm going to have to head out. And as a matter of fact, the weather is changing already. It's quite windy, so that's what's going to happen. But at any rate, the cabin is starting to feel more like an enclosed building, where before the wind blew through, even with the windows and everything. The wind blew through completely. So anyway, I'm going to do most of the chinking with just masonry mix, cement, and then or concrete, I guess. And then I'll be using like synthetic caulks for like around the windows and the small gaps and stuff to make sure it's airtight, or not airtight necessarily, but you know, sealed up well for cold weather. So other than that, I don't really have a whole lot. It's kind of a long and tedious process. So far, actually, of this build, this is my least favorite part. I still am enjoying it, but it is kind of, you know, tedious. And I'm really looking forward to putting the floor in so I can work on the inside here now that basically it's all framed up. So I got to put a staircase in over here, you know. I got all kinds of plans. Wood stove goes in this corner, you know. As you can see, I'm gonna leave this gap in here for now, because that's actually, I'm gonna cut this and then run my pipe from my little wood stove out that way, instead of going through, you know, instead of sending a chimney through the roof and the upper story of the loft area, because then you're gonna have a hot chimney. Even with a double walled, you know, chimney, it'd probably be a little hot. So I figure I'll just run it out the back, you know, run it up, put it at an angle out, and then up alongside the building. That hopefully will work. We'll give it a try anyway. So I'm going to leave that for now, but then all these other gaps get filled in. Now on the outside, I'll probably do a video on that when I get to it. I've started a little bit, but I take a piece of lath, which is like a metal grating kind of stuff, and where there's big gaps in between, I lock it all together. I nail it in, and it locks the logs kind of together, and then you put concrete on top of that, you know, cement it in. And I figure there I'll use the same stuff. It'll be masonry mix, but I probably will put a color to it. Inside here, you know, the whiter it gets, the better for light, but outside, I think, you know, we'll go something a little to match logs, something a little darker. So I think that'll look pretty nice. But yeah, that's pretty much all I got. That's the plan, and you know, it's coming along good. Quikrete by the bag. An 80-pound bag is $5, you know, and so far I got about a bag and a half in on the inside, so it goes a long ways. There is really good synthetic like with all these homes that are built now with logs, there's some really good synthetic stuff to put in between logs too. That probably would be easier. But this is kind of old school. I've been doing it kind of old school as much as possible, so we're still going to stick with that. So anyway, I'd like to thank you for joining me. Like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you next time. Not sure what the next video will be, but stay tuned and maybe it'll be cool to watch. So thank you.